How's the market? Austin, Texas. Let's go. All right, we're going to jump into the Austin, Texas real estate market update. The most common question I always get asked, Pauly, how's the market? What's going on? Should I buy? Should I sell? We're going to take a deep dive on the numbers, looking into the Austin Board of Realtors and this new format that they offer to us to be able to get a better pulse on where have we been, where are we at, and then ultimately where are we going. There's some pretty cool data here, so let's jump right in. Okay, first things first is the number of sales here. You can see 2,979 sales. That's 1.7 billion with a B. $1.7 billion in the month of August. You can see most of those sales came in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. But hey, the $1 million range was holding its own. There's some interesting numbers there I'm going to share with you on the $1 million range as far as days on market and activity. And so stay tuned towards the end. I'm going to talk about the $1 million range. But a median price point, $429,000. Now, Travis County actually $100,000 higher than that because this Austin Board of Realtor data incorporates this Central Texas zone here, and the Central Texas zone is pretty big. You know, you can see here, what you can't see here is the Colleen, Temple, Belton area down to San Marcos, New Braunfels, and so it's a pretty big zone. And so Travis and Williamson County are the two largest counties that incorporate the Austin Board of Realtors. There's three more counties in there, but the median price point $429,000. Interestingly enough, look how much higher the average price point is, $570,000, which is why it's important to understand who you're talking to and what do the numbers actually mean. Because somebody could say the average price point is $570,000 who lives in Atlanta, Georgia, or California, and they're reporting on real estate news when that doesn't actually reflect what's normal for what's happening here. Now, in Travis County, in the central metro area, closer to downtown, look, it runs 525 to 550 right now, okay? But overall, as a whole, most people are living in the outskirts in Williamson County, and you know, you're looking at $429,000 to $450,000 for a normal purchase, as far as an overall understanding of what affordability might look like in and around Austin, Texas. Downtown, something different, obviously. But understand the difference between average and median, because averages, you add up all the numbers and then divide them by by how many there were, right? The number. So the median is if you lined up all the sales, where's the middle? And that's a more accurate reflection as far as what's going on to understand where values really are. Okay, median days on market, 49 median days. Again, a number 10 to 14 days lower than the average, both for Travis and Williamson County. Again, a bit more of clarity on like what's going on. 3,000 homes sold for August. Hey, by the way, August slows down mid-August. People going back to school. Stereotypically in the state of Texas, we're seeing activity slow down, but we still 3,000 homes, which, oh, by the way, is up from the past 3 months. 3,000 homes, you know, just a nudge under 3,000 homes was a pretty good month for overall sales. So why is everybody talking about the market is slow? Why is everybody talking about homes aren't selling? Well, that's what this conversation is for here. A professional with boots on the ground who's buying and selling real estate every day, so that we can take a look at what's really going on. Because the inventory is something that we're going to talk about in a second on why it might feel like the market's a lot fatter and slower than what's actually happening, which is 2,979 sales in the month of August. Median days on market, 49 days, a month and a half, not bad, versus what you might be seeing in the news, which is news that isn't as good or healthy. Those are pretty healthy numbers for an economy that's a little stagnant. And price points have been hanging around this median price point zone for 4 or 5 months. Typically in March, April, May, we see a nudge upwards in price. Didn't really see that this year. And so 2022 is when we peaked. 23, we did a little of this, up and down, a little up to finish. 24, we did this, little up, little down, and we finished a nudge upwards. 25, we nudged upwards January to February, interestingly enough, because January usually is a pretty slow month. And then all of a sudden, February to August, just this right here. I mean, barely moving at all in appreciation. So, real estate runs in 5 to 7 year cycles. 22 was going on 23, 24, 25. We're in the third year from when we crashed here in Austin, Texas. And so we're kind of skidding across the bottom here. Where are we going? Well, I have an opinion on that. And so we're going to take a look towards the end on what I think on buying or selling in real estate in Austin right now looks like. Okay, let's keep moving here with the inventory. And inventory is an interesting number here because we see a month's supply, almost a 6-month supply. Bam, there it is. It feels fat and heavy because it is for Austin. Now, when you look at the grand picture of real estate, a 4 to 6 month supply of homes is fairly healthy and fairly normal. We've just been, we've really have had these abnormal markets where there's a 1 month supply, a 3 month supply, and these prolonged periods of time with just a very short inventory, a low supply of homes on the market. And so this 5 or 6 month supply, especially exacerbated by the interest rates and the anxiety and apprehension around the economy, buyers are moving a little bit slower to make decisions. Okay, but as we can see, those median days on market was not too bad, a month to a month and a half of median days on market. And so, and we can see here, median days on market, that's for what's available, not for what's sold. Okay, so median days on market right now for what's available is 39 days. And so while we're seeing a lot more homes available, we're not seeing homes sit on the market for a long period of time for the ones that sell. Okay, for the ones that sell. I'm going to get a little bit more into that. All right, active homes on the market as of today. Today's September 23rd. And again, I apologize, but that we just got these numbers a few days ago, and that's what happens with the Austin Board of Realtors. They procure this data and then release it mid to late month the following month, which is why I'm always talking about the previous month's numbers mid to late month, always towards the end of the current month. And so we're September 23rd here. As of today, 16,585. That's an active static number, and that'll always be live when I'm going over this. Which, interestingly enough, you can see here, average list price for single family homes and condos, townhomes, and manufactured properties. That's interesting. $385,000 for manufactured. I don't know why that's that. But 16,000 homes on the market, 440 pending, 344 active under contract. All that means is that the active under contracts just put a contract together between a buyer and a seller. They're still in the option period where there's a home inspection to be done. And then once they get past that home inspection, then they're moved into the pending status. And so, there's almost 800 homes that are pending to close. Okay, and again, the median days for those homes on the market now, 39 days. Okay, let's take a look at price drops, because I think what's interesting here on price drops is that we see that active number, 16,585, active with a price drop. 59% of the market has experienced a price drop. That's a very strong number. And so what does that tell us? Well, people understand that the price that they initially had asked was not working. And oh, by the way, let me just give you a little disclaimer here. Selling sooner means selling for more. Statistically, over the years, I've been selling real estate since 2003, full-time since 2008. And I used to sell in Las Vegas, Nevada. And historically, we see that properties that sell within 30 to 45 days always sell for more than properties that have been sitting on the market a long period of time. Think about it. Last time you bought a property, you saw it was on the market a long time. What was the first thought in your head? That's right. What's wrong with it? I heard you, right? And so what's wrong with it? Is the seller not motivated? And so then the buzzards start circling and they start lowball offering. They start trying to pull people down and to negotiate. Well, they've been on the market a long period of time. So while you may not have a deadline to sell your home, you do not want to be bruised bananas. Okay, I'm talking about you sit on the market and you sit on the market and you sit on the market, and and people see you every day just sitting there, and they're just not interested. Nobody wants to buy bruised bananas. And so selling sooner means selling for more. And so people begin to understand that. Now, look, you don't want to be in that scenario. Some of you guys have been there where you're chasing down the market, and that's always a bad spot to be in. So look, get your price right initially. There may be a little bit of room for you to pad, but look, if you're not getting the key performance indicator, which is showings, people coming through the door, then you're not priced right. Okay. And for each neighborhood, for each price point, and for each community, that's a little bit different. Hey, we love having those conversations. And if you'd like a custom home value report, I'm not talking about a Zillow algorithm or a Realtor.com estimate or a Zestimate, right? I'm talking about real home value, no obligations, no questions too small. I love having conversations with people as far as what's going on, even if you're not ready right now. Bringing information is my first job. And so if you'd like a free custom home value report or just have some questions, you can contact me on the information below, and I'd love to connect with you and share more. Okay, so 59% of the homes, almost 60% of the homes have experienced a price drop. How much have they dropped their price? Well, there it is right there. On average, 9%. So almost 10%. So that's a pretty hefty number. What's that mean? People want to sell. Okay, so does that mean that they'll get an offer? Well, let me fast forward here. Within last month, listings that dropped their price went under contract after a median of 24 days on the market. So it will work. Sometimes I get people asking me this, hey, Pauly, if we reduce our asking price by 10%, isn't that going to make it feel like we're desperate, or could that possibly be a bad sign or end up poorly for us? No, it won't. It will get you into the strike zone. And when you're in the strike zone and people see value, they jump, they move. Now, you get a bunch of people who are excited. You got more features and benefits in your property, and you're in the strike zone now. That could mean multiple offers. Is that happening regularly right now? No. Is it happening in this market right now? Yes. And so dependent upon your strategy, and by the way, I have a strategy that can cause multiple offers in 5 to 10 days and see dozens of showings and multiple offers. Now, it's a strategy that's not for everyone, but hey, look, I have to be able to provide. There's 6 different options that I bring to the table to share with sellers to go, okay, look, we can do it like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, or like this. And if you're not having a conversation with a professional on how to maximize strategy to put the most money in your pocket, if that's not something they're bringing to the table and you're trying to pull it out of them like you're pulling teeth, you're probably not talking to the right person. Okay, so back to you lower the price within 24 days if you're in the strike zone, because lowering the price doesn't mean that you got in the strike zone. 9% on average we saw here, right? The average price drop was 9%. That's a hefty chunk. So I can imagine it'd be interesting to see, and I don't have that data here, but how many of those properties actually received an offer within lowering the price. But I will tell you this, you get in the strike zone. Remember Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. That's for Gen Xers or older. That an old movie called Field of Dreams, that if you get in the strike zone, people are going to swing. People are going to come to the table and they're going to make an offer. Okay. Yeah. So I thought also interesting, let me go back here to inventory. Inventory. I want to talk a little bit about the $1 million price range. And we saw a 4 to 5 month supply. And we can see this by price zone here. That price zone, months of supply, 4, and obviously as we go up in price, it gets higher. And then look here, we see the $1 million price range, the inventory getting higher. 5.3 for 1 million to 1.2, 1.2 to 1.39, 6 months, 1.4 million and over. And that's about the range. I always tell people the market, normal trends for the market run to about 1.5, and then the number of buyers drop off. And it's a little bit different of a scenario in regards to market activity and market statistics and data, and how that might reflect on what to expect when you're selling a home. So we see here as the numbers go up, the months of supply go up. But interestingly enough, let me come back here, is when we click on 1 million and 1.4 million and above, look at this here, 1.4 million and above, 65 days, median days on the market. So 2 months. Often I get, even and real estate agents who come to me and say, selling $1 million homes takes a long time. Now, this is 1.4 million. Last month, we had 129 homes sold over 1.4 million. Median days on market for those homes, 65 days. You should not be sitting on the market a long period of time. Now, look, it's a $5 or $6 or $10 million home. Okay, might be different. But there's also data that we can collect to understand what to expect, even in those circumstances. The question is, how motivated are you? Because trying to start high is never a winning strategy, even for the $1 million, multi-million dollar price range. We can see it right here, 65 days, median price point, 1.875. Okay, so this is the upper echelon here. 129 sales. Let's look at 1.2 to 139. How many homes sold 1.2 to 139? 55 homes, 40 days, median days on market. We're going down here, 40 days. That's a pretty quick time to sell a property, 1.2 to 1.4. The median price point was 1.3. And so let's look at properties just over $1 million, 111. 62 days median price point. And as we can see here, we've debunked the myth that it takes a long time to sell multi-million dollar properties. Now, remember this, we just looked at how many months of supply. We looked at 6 to 9 months. $1.4 million was 9 months. So it feels fat and heavy for the people who don't have the right strategy. For the people that do have the right strategy, properties are selling in the multi-million dollar price range. This is important because should I buy or sell right now? Well, we're talking about sellers, so let's talk about sellers right now. Look, it's September, October, November, December. We're in the holiday season. Now, do homes sell in November and December? Yes, they do. Are there a lot less homes on the market? Yes. Are the buyers who are looking around for properties during the holidays likely more motivated? Yes. Okay, so less homes on the market, but less competition. And so if for whatever reason you need to move, well then selling during the winter months still can be profitable, because is the market going up or down right now? Well, I just told you the last 4 or 5 months, we've literally been frozen right at the $430,000 range median. Travis County's been stuck right at $525,000. And so if you're waiting for the market to go up in value, you could be rolling the dice. Are interest rates going down? Likely. The Feds just had a meeting and they lowered the borrowing rates, which don't always equivalent to mortgage rates. We had mortgage rates nudging downwards the last several weeks, and that was kind of already baked into the cake based off of Jerome Powell's telegraphing that he's going to reduce the rates, which he just did. And then even in this last session, he was having some of his language was rooted around seeing potentially additional rate cuts. People think that for sure there's one more guaranteed, and that possibly there could be two. So does interest rates equal the market heating up, appreciation moving? Possibly. Again, it's not always a direct correlation in the borrowing rates from the Feds to the mortgage rates. So, and remember, we are moving into the holiday seasons, and so there's less sales happening, less homes on the market. So you can still sell for a decent price if you got the strategy right. But to see higher levels of appreciation in winter months, not typical. Although I did say just 5 or 6 minutes ago on how last year we saw January to February a big jump in appreciation, which isn't normal, because normally the months of appreciation are March, April, May. Bang, bang, bang. March, April, May, like clockwork. This year that didn't happen. Okay, so when you're trying to tell the future, I'm telling you right now that we can't. Even the professionals can't do it. So if you're trying to time the market, whether you're playing stocks or you're playing the real estate market, look, it's very rare to get that right. Very rare. And we just don't know with tariffs and the economy and global conflict. There's just too many variables to try to time the market, because we could run flat until next spring, and then we see a stereotypical chunk in appreciation in spring, March, April, May. That could happen. But remember, it didn't happen this year. So depending on what happens with these circumstances could be contingent upon how this all plays out. Okay, so what does that mean? Look, if you don't really have to sell right now and you're not in a position where you have to sell, then don't. We just talked about how fat the market was with inventory and some of the apprehensions and anxieties and the mindset and the sentiment of the buyers. Look, just don't do it. Okay, there's no reason to do it. Don't do it. Don't contribute to the problem here with continuing to fatten the market. And several weeks here, people are going to be coming off the market. We're seeing 25 to 50 homes expiring or withdrawing the properties. The contracts to sell are expiring. People are withdrawing the properties from the market because they're just not working. And we see we're going to see the inventory start to come down. But look, that doesn't mean that trying to start high or trying the market out rarely works. Who are the people that sell? The people that understand what's going on in the market, they have clarity with it, and then they come to terms with what that means for them so that they can get top dollar. The people who try it out and go with any old real estate person who will list it at any old price because they don't do much business. The average real estate agent does 4 transactions a year. Hey, how about this? Ask your realtor how many homes they've sold this year. Ask the people that you're interviewing or the person that you're interviewing what do they think about the market? What's their perception on what's going on? And if they don't give you a strong, confident answer, you're probably talking to the wrong person. Okay, so if you don't have to sell right now, don't. Okay, don't put your property on the market. Next spring could be better, but if for whatever reason it's more important to sell. And there's something pending in regards to your professional life. Look, get this done, get it done faster. Okay, don't be bruised banana sitting on the market for a long period of time. Nobody's going to want that. Okay, and you will sell for when you sell sooner, you'll sell for more. And so make sure that you have a good plan. Interview at least one or two, at least a couple of agents. I love when clients tell me they're interviewing other agents. That's great. The last listing I took in Las Vegas, Nevada, I went up against 8 other agents. I was the 9th agent. It was just under $1 million. Took the listing, sold it in less than 60 days. And hey, the moral of the story is who are you talking to and what are the conversations that you're having to be able to understand how to get what you want in the time frame you want it. Okay, real quick, I got to finish up with buyers, which is it a good time to buy right now? Hell yes, it's a great time to buy right now. We are properties are still at a discount from where they were in 2021 and 2022. We've seen a little bit of appreciation in 23 and 24, barely just a nudge in 2025. And sellers who are on the market who are motivated, okay, which is what a good professional should do, is call up the listing agent and find out what's going on, what's the story. Ask your professional who you're considering to work with versus some order taker who picked you up because you were a lead that made an inquiry on a property that was an open house or for sale online. Interview these people and ask them what their strategy is to go ahead and get you the best possible deal, because I want to find out what's going on in that scenario to see what kind of leverage we have. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to share with you what's going on with the market data to know where we at. What's going on right now with the market conditions versus where this property is at price point wise versus what's going on with the seller. Because once I composite that data and I share it with you and we take a look at it, then we go, well, wait a minute, we're going to have to make a full list price offer. Wait a minute, there's other interested parties here. We're going to have to make this offer a little bit juicier to compete. Wait a minute, there's an opportunity to come in lower. Wait a minute, there's an opportunity to come in way lower. And so all of it's subjective to find out like what's going on in the market, because there's a lot of competition out there right now. So should I buy right now? Yes. Prices are down. Yes. Sellers are willing to offer incentives, all kinds of incentives, especially if you're buying a new home. They're bending over backwards in the fourth quarter. They're trying to get rid of inventory before the end of the year, and they're offering tens of, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars off of the higher price point homes. I've seen $100,000, $150,000, $175,000 off. Fixed interest rate at 4% and 5%. Fixed interest rate. I mean, we're talking about a 1.5 to 2 points below what the market interest rate is for a resale purchase. I mean, you're saving a ton of money. Plus, they'll add on upgrades and features and benefits and closing costs. I mean, there's all kinds of things happening. Now, What does that mean in regards to what might work for you? Well, that's what having a conversation with a professional is going to help you figure out, because new homes aren't for everybody. A lot of them are on the fringes of the city. You got some stuff happening inside with small builders, but like you got to know where to look for that and understand what new home build strategy really means. But for the bulk of it, whether it's a resale or a new home build, there's opportunity out there. And man, I wish I could buy more real estate right now, because I absolutely would, whether it's an investment property, and we have all kinds of conversations to have around off-market opportunities, because I have a team that a person on my team, that's all they do is search for and vet off-market opportunities with the relationships that we have with investors and wholesalers and outbound marketing, for us to be able to connect with people who may be more susceptible to do an off-market deal. And so, hey, look, now is a great time to buy. And if, of course, it makes sense for you and you don't put yourself in a financial bind, because you shouldn't be overstretching yourself financially, and you should be being fiscally responsible to make sure that if you can take advantage without overstretching yourself, because that's always a dangerous thing to do. But hey, look, your vision is my mission. And I get excited about real estate because no questions are too small. And I'm always so eager and excited to have conversations around what's going on in the market. What does that mean to you? Regardless of whether you're ready right now, or I know you're not going to do anything until the timing is right. But with the Vision Realty Group, we're talking about creative options for you to win in real estate, to help get what you want in the time frame you want it. Wouldn't that be great? Talk to you soon. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Share with your friends.